Do you like dick or pussy?
I like boys.
Yo, boys are just uneducated.
Hey, can you do an ollie?
No, bro, I'm a poser.
You use tampons?
You don't?
Can't they kill you?
What?
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I'm at the library.
Hey! Slow down!
¿Dónde carajo has estado?
No more skating, promise me.
Hello there, that was a clip from The Great Skate Kitchen, which I'm so happy we're talking about today here on What the Flip. Christy, Lemire, Alonso, Duralde. Alonso's going to describe this to you.
So this is actually one of two films that we're talking about this week that is the fiction debut of a documentary filmmaker. In this case, it is Crystal Moselle, who a couple years ago did a movie called The Wolfpack. And this is, I mean, there's our documentary elements to this, I guess, because there is an actual collective of women in New York called Skate Kitchen who are skateboarders, and a lot of them play characters in the film. The lead is Rachelle Vinberg, and she plays a sort of sheltered girl who lives with her mom, skateboards on the sly, mom would rather she not, and eventually runs away from home and goes to live with this collective of women, and it finds it very liberating, but of course then trouble arises when she falls for a guy played by Jaden Smith, who is the ex of one of her skating cohorts. Now, all right, tell me this, because this is a thing that I feel like I've absorbed over the years from female film critics and female filmmakers, that the bemoaning the notion that whenever movies are made about female friendship, that it all comes apart when, you know, they fight over a boy. And it's like, this is a movie written and directed by women where the friendship falls apart over them fighting over a boy. And I'm like, what do I make of this?
Well, I figured that, I mean, they're teenagers, they're about 18.
Yeah.
They're still kind of on the brink of womanhood. And so at this point, maybe, yeah.
That's how they would.
Especially for this young woman, because she's so sheltered.
Sure.
You know, I mean, she has no friends, and that's part of what is so joyous about her joining this group of skateboarders, because not only are they skateboarders, but they are young women like her, and she finally feels like, okay, people understand me. But I feel like she's really, as smart as she is, and as independent as she increasingly finds herself being, there's still a youthfulness to her and an immaturity to her.
Absolutely.
And so I chalk that up to her being like, just not old enough to know how to deal with stuff.
And I don't even mind that as a plot point. It just felt so weird to me after having had that notion pushed for so long.
That had not even occurred to me as I was watching it.
Okay, good. Well, fine. I'm nitpicking then, but
okay.
I love this movie. It is liberating in that sense of the cinematography really captures the rush of skateboarding in an urban setting, you know, on sidewalks, on busy streets, around people, you know, in parking lots or whatever. And you do really get a feel for who these girls are and why this means so much to them and why it gives them an avenue to sort of explore things in their lives that maybe they otherwise wouldn't get to, and that makes them grow as people. I was reminded of, did you ever see an Australian movie in the 80s called Puberty Blues?
No.
It's an early Bruce Beresford movie, and it's about these teen girls who like kind of fall in with these surfers, and they're all like sexist a-holes and you know treat them terribly. And the movie ends with them picking up the surfboard and going out in the water and doing it themselves. And it's this sort of great moment of liberation.
Liberating.
Yeah, and so this whole movie is that. It's about these women grabbing their boards and hitting the streets. And you know, I love the music choices. I think there's a lot of really kind of, you know, clearly this is a cast of first timers, but they are funny and eccentric, and I believe their chemistry, you know, and I really like this movie a lot.
I was impressed by just like the tonal and aesthetic balance that Crystal Moselle finds here, because a lot of skateboarding is shot in like long takes, right? And she follows the skateboarders and you are with them, as you say, you feel like you are a part of this. And there's a dreaminess to the lighting. A lot of it feels like it's at magic hour. There's lens flares going on, and a lot of it's in slow motion. And so you feel like you're just in this like kind of wonderful euphoric haze of just liberation and joy and friendship. But there's also a gritty realism, like a tactile sense of being on the streets. And when our heroine finds that she needs to leave home, you believe the cramped nature of the places that she finds herself in and the squalor she finds herself in, but she'd rather be there than stuck at home with her mom, who is very conservative and does not understand her. So it's a tricky balance that they pull off. And another movie we're going to talk about this week, We the Animals, also achieves that dreaminess and grittiness simultaneously.
I want to give a shout out to Elizabeth Rodriguez, who plays the mom, because that is a role that could have very easily just been this sort of one-note scold. And I think the movie kind of understands where the mother's coming from. Early on in the film, our heroine credit cards herself, as they call it in the film, injures her, area, and her mother thinks, what if you can't have children? This is terrible, And so, as much as you may disagree with the mother's motivation or think that it's antediluvian or whatever, at least she has one. She's not just like, you kids, knock it off with your skateboard. You get where she's coming from, and so. And it also gives them a place to find reconciliation, maybe not, as the story goes along. And so I like the fact that all the women in the movie are given sort of an amount of agency or amount of background, or that none of them are two-dimensional, including the mom, even though she's sort of the nemesis.
I really also like Nina Moran as the wisecracking, profane lesbian
she's
skateboarder.
Hilarious.
She steals the whole thing almost.
Cast her.
Yeah, I mean, in a movie that is like a low-key kind of shaggy hang, she brings an edge to it.
Totally.
And it's just funny every time. Yeah, each young lady has a personality for sure. They're not just like a clump of people. I think I like this movie better in the hangout moments, in the conversations that they have, because they're very revealing, and they allow Camille, our young actress, to find who she is. Even talking about something like tampons.
Yes.
A basic thing. She's never had anyone to really talk about tampons with her, and
there's a whole
whole
gynecology discussion that's really funny.
And she needed that, and didn't realize she needed it until she had it.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And Jaden Smith, we were not kind to him for After Earth, and deservedly so.
He was set up to fail there, though. That's not his fault.
That was he was young. He was a lot got thrown on him, but here he very much kind of sinks into this movie. There's nothing about his performance or the way that he's in the film that screams like actual movie star. Like he's just there. He's part of the scenario and part of the scenery of who these people are and who they're hanging out with. And he finds a tone that if you went into this movie not knowing who he was, you would just assume he was another skate kid that they cast in the film.
I kind of forgot it was him.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot it was him. I'm like, oh, he's a kid with red hair. Oh, it's Jaden Smith with red hair. I forgot it was him until it was over. So to your point, yes, he does blend in. This is a really good movie. It gave me hope. It gave me hope to see these kinds of characters on screen.
Yes.
It made me want to cry at different moments, and I found it ultimately very, very hopeful and joyous. There's also a great skateboarding documentary out this week called Minding the Gap that I had hoped to talk about today. Perhaps we can at some point. And it's about these three great friends. One is black, one's white, one's Asian, and how skateboarding became their salvation. And they all came from these abusive homes, and they were trying to survive, and how they try to include that element of their lives as they get older and have responsibilities.
And it's premiering on Hulu, right?
Yes, it is. So you can find that too. But it's weird that we have like two really great skateboarding movies to choose from.
Yeah, Skate Kitchen, and if nothing else, it's a great sports movie. In terms of somebody sort of finding the best of themselves within their, through discovering this activity and finding out they're really good at it, and creating a world around them of friends and family and all that kind of stuff.
And they work hard at it. They bust their butts over and over again.
Totally.
My number is an 8.6. What's yours?
I said 8.
Okay, so we're 8.3. It is at 89% on the tomato meter. It opened in New York last week. It's at least LA this week, and hopefully coming out to a town near you. Bye.
Keep an eye out.